Education is not preparation for life. Education is life itself. This is a quote from John Dewey from 1897, and it's one of my favourite quotes when talking about my values, beliefs, and what is important for all of us, whether as a teacher or student, because it acknowledges that education doesn't just start and end in a classroom. Education is a lifelong and an everyday aspect to our lives. This presentation will be about my views as a teacher, my hopes for students, how the constructivist theory works with my teaching practices, and some of the limitations it poses to what I believe would make an effective teacher. The most important values for me as a teacher are to be relatable and relevant. Why do we learn? What is the purpose? How is this relevant to my everyday life? To be approachable, so that I'm seen as a safe and trustworthy peer for students to feel comfortable enough to discuss any matter. To be interactive, involving the students and myself in classroom practices. To incorporate both group and community learning, making it social and showing how education is vital in our neighbourhoods in helping each other. Catering to individual needs and acknowledging that everybody is different and that they learn differently, and to embrace that about themselves. To have an open mind and a non-judgmental environment and creating a safe space. Finally, to make it fun, make it lively, make it motivating, and to be inspirational. I believe these key points will result in effective learning with the positive outcomes for both students and teachers. But my own preference as a method which has the best chance of resulting in permanent meaningful learning is the constructivist approach, which deserves to be more widely used. This quote by Josh Selly exactly sums up why I've chosen the constructivist approach. Meaningful learning is what makes it worth becoming a teacher. When discussing constructivism, it is best to break it up into two sections, cognitive and social. Cognitive constructivism is based on the work of Jean Piaget. Piaget came up with the concept that learners must construct their own knowledge through experience. It comes from the idea that the development of the mind is a biological process and that it has its own rules and stages. He perceived learning as an active, not a passive process where knowledge is constructed, not just suddenly gained. On the other hand, Len Vygotsky was a theorist who came up with the concept social constructivism, which focuses on social interactions and how learning is a social and cultural process. His key focus was that we learn from one another. He believed that constructivists such as Piaget had overlooked the social nature of language and in turn failed to understand that learning is a collaborative exercise. A key concept of Len Vygotsky is a zone of proximal development. This refers to the difference between a learner's ability to perform a task independently versus with guidance. For example, a child struggles to read, but by working with that child to sound out the words, then they are able to sound out the words and consequently learn to read themselves. By understanding what children are able to achieve individually and what children can achieve with guidance, teachers can plan to teach required skills so that students have a confident approach to perform their work. Talking about constructivism and applying it to teaching, it is important to address the key concepts behind it. That the teacher should value that students will all have their own recollections and come up with their own meanings from past experiences. That the teacher acts as a facilitator in learning, but by being a guide and assisting and motivating students to learn independently. That the teacher should use wrong answers in helping students examine their thinking and revise their errors. Teachers should pose questions so students have to seek their own answers. Using social interaction to increase interest in understanding theory and learning. It's important to compare findings with other students and learn from each other. How can we do that? Well, there are several examples here, such as problem solving, equations, brainstorming as a group or individually, building projects or physically constructing objects to see how things fit into a place, or reading comprehension. Another key point to discuss with constructivism is Bloom's revised taxonomy. It has a constructivist approach to learning, which emphasises the importance of building knowledge and skills through doing. The taxonomy is 6 levels, as you can see on the screen, that has the student starting at a basic level and progressing into a much higher level of thinking. It motivates and challenges the student to think outside the norm and pushes them into striving for a new learning outcome. This ties in with constructivism as it emphasises the importance of skills through doing. Constructivism aligns with my personal beliefs as teaching because it incorporates diverse learning. It's respectful of all backgrounds and cultures. It's interactive and it revolves highly on student participation. It promotes deep thinking and it encourages students to think about their own experiences. It's motivating. It encourages group and independent learning, and it encourages students to learn from each other as well as what we can teach each other in classroom practices. And it takes into account everybody, even those on the autistic spectrum or those that may have learning disabilities. However, constructivism has its limitations, and that's that there is a lot of time required by teachers to dedicate to each student, and it can leave the teacher feeling overwhelmed and not giving enough time to everybody equally. In terms of grading, it can be challenging as the range is so broad, and having to look at each student individually and their circumstances and experiences, it becomes difficult to place them on the spectrum. It can also take the focus on motivating students to perform better as they don't have grade-centered goals. There is a limit to no structure, as it is the students driving the curriculum, and it is discovering new knowledge as it unfolds naturally to them. It's hard to evaluate if a student is struggling because it is based on their own needs and constructive learning. And the timing to complete and plan tasks for teachers is very broad range, as it's all individual and it's based on the student's capacity. Summing it up. In summary, I believe that constructivism is a great theory to apply to teaching. It has a focus on the students being motivated by their own experiences to continue questioning, drawing up their own conclusions. It allows the teacher to cater to everybody on their own level, yet at the same time involving the classroom as a whole to work together and encouraging learning from one another. There are some issues that need to be taken into consideration though when applying the theory, such as the time required, how to grade students, and how to involve a structure so that students and teachers can continue to achieve their goals. Thank you for watching this presentation.